Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Subject2Change is here. And I know you missed us last week, but it was election week, a lot of things going on. And I'm talking really loud, so my roommate Sean is probably going to get woken up by this. And Tom is back, and we got a great week. Hope you guys are doing good. Tom, how's it going, baby?
I'm doing well, man. No COVID in my life. All good things.
No COVID in your life. Why do you say that?
Well, I went to a wedding this past weekend, and I'm pretty positive I came back no COVID. So I am thinking that I'm invincible, basically.
That's a hell of a play on words right there. You're pretty positive that you don't have COVID. Interesting. Interesting. Have you ever seen, oh my gosh, what is the movie? The Dictator? You ever watched The Dictator? Probably not, because you don't watch movies. Jesus. Spence,
Absolutely not.
Spence, please tell me you've watched The Dictator.
Yeah, I've seen The Dictator. That's Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen, right. Hilarious scene. He doesn't even know who Sacha Baron Cohen is and Borat, but whatever. But when you just said that I'm positive that I don't have COVID, that I'm positive that I'm negative for COVID, it just reminded me of the scene in The Dictator where he's a dictator in this foreign country, if you've never watched, and it's his made up country, and he like names it after himself, all this stuff. And he changes words because he's a dictator and he can do that. And he changed both positive and negative to the same word to his name. All right. So then there was a scene like they're in the doctor's office and they're like, you are whatever for whatever. Anyways, go watch the damn movie, Tom. God, I'm pissed that I can't remember the word. What is his name?
You promote a lot of random movies on
He's
the
like,
pod. It's great.
I'm positive you are negative to HIV virus.
I got it. He's like, it's Dictator. The dictator's name is Aladdin in the movie, and he changes all the words to just Aladdin. Positive and negative are both changed to Aladdin. So you just have to go based on like facial expression. Anyways, as you can see, folks, we're going to be way off track today. Let's get into NBA draft being a week away, and nobody seems to be talking about it. And I'm like tad bit confused. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world, but what does that mean about this draft class if we're a week away and I have no idea who's going 1, 2, 3. You think LaMelo should be picked 1 through 10 and just kind of have like a joint custody thing? What does this mean for this draft class?
People are pretty down on the draft class. They're saying it's not great. I couldn't believe it was only a week away. Like even I was surprised. I don't know. I thought it was further out, but no one knows who the number one pick is going to be. If you look at like all the draft experts, they all say LaMelo should go number 1. But then if you listen to all like the analysts who like talk to GMs, they're like LaMelo might go 7 or 8 to like the Pistons or Knicks. So it makes no sense. I think the hard part is they've had like 18 months to figure this out. Like it's like the longest draft process ever. You have guys that like would be sleepers, and like there's no way to be a sleeper because like everyone's seen and talked about every single guy a lot. Overall, though, like it's definitely not it's not the strongest draft at the top. But I think there's a lot of guys as you get into the later rounds. I mean, like some of our favorite guys like Cassius Stanley, Vernon Carrier, guys that aren't even getting talked about, but we like know could be like very solid NBA players. Do you think this is a good draft? And put your GM hat on. Who you trying to get if it's not like one of those top few guys?
Who might like a non kind of like a sleeper in this draft?
Yeah, you're picking like 14, so like you could really pick whoever you want. I mean, if you want to trade up and get one of your guys in the top 10, that's fine. But
here's what all teams need to do, and we're going to be a very pro this guy podcast for the next couple weeks here. How do you say Denny's last name? Don't let me mess it up. Avdija?
Think so.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
It's Denny Avdija.
Avdija. Okay, we are a very pro draft Denny Avdija, however you want to say his last name.
Avdija.
Podcast. What?
Avdija.
Denny Avdija. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get everybody over here in America to have a nice, easier way to say his last name. But we are pro draft Denny. I'm trading up and getting Denny. I think he's a Luka type guy, not just because he's not from America, but I'm
exactly
excited about Denny. I love Denny, and trade up, get him. That's my only thing in this draft at this point. My boy Tyrese Halliburton, shout out to my Wisconsin guy. He's gonna go top 10 for sure, if not even top 5. Excited about that. But hey, we're pushing for Denny. DraftDenny.com.
Wait, Tyrese is from Wisconsin. So are you and Hero. Tyler, where did Tyler Hero get drafted?
Oh, 13, I believe.
13. So Tyrese will go higher. Putting Wisconsin on the map. Is that the highest rate? Is that the highest drafted Wisconsin guy ever?
Yeah, I think we had a couple guys. If I'm not mistaken, we had 2 McDonald's All-Americans, which is crazy that neither Ty Hero or Tyrese were McDonald's All-Americans, snubbed big time. But we had, when we were coming up in high school, there was Diamond Stone and Henry Ellenson, and they were both Wisconsin guys, and both were McDonald's. And I think they both went like second round, late second round. I think one of them might not have gotten drafted. Last I heard, Henry was with the Pistons. Not sure where Diamond is, but yeah, Tyrese will be the highest draft pick if he goes above, 13, which a lot of analysts think he's going to. So be interesting back-to-back years. And another guy, Joey Hauser, you got to watch out for, kind of a name you're not hearing a lot. He transferred from Marquette, Wisconsin guy. And Sam, his brother, is at Virginia. They both transferred. And Joey went to Michigan State. Sam went to Virginia. And both eligible for, to be a draft pick next year too. So it might be back-to-back years and should be interesting. I'm excited for Tyrese and everybody.
I want to talk a lot about Wisconsin basketball in a little bit because I do have a question for you. To think about this while we're talking about other stuff, who is your Wisconsin top 5 and what states are you guys beating? But we can talk about that as you think about it.
Top 5 all time?
Well, let's just say you, Tyler, and Tyrese have to be on it. So you can pick 2 other guys.
All right, that's fair. All right.
Denny is someone who, when I first saw him, we filmed him a couple times. We did some stuff with him. Our guys flew out and met him, right, Spencer?
Yeah, they went to Israel last summer.
And they came back and they're like, he is a stud. And I was like, I don't know. My whole thing with international players is I want to see them dominate overseas because I think that that's what Luka did, right? He was the best player overseas.
Right.
And he ended up having a really good season this past season. So people are really high on him. Some people are saying they would take him over Wiseman if they were the Warriors. I'm getting warm on him. I do think he's going to be really good. So people are saying he's one of the few guys that can come in and start day one. So I like your pick on Denny. Where do you think he ends up?
I literally, I'm like everybody else at this point. I don't know where he's going to end up. All I wanted to get at what you just said is America needs to take a page out of the European book and go to all club program style. I think it'd be sweet to see that because it makes guys so much more, ready for the NBA. And now some people are going to disagree and say college basketball is the way to do it. But the way I look at it, NCAA college basketball is kind of it's being phased out every year, just kind of with their rules, regulations, and stuff like that. And we're moving towards we need a change for amateur basketball. And should they be paid? Should they not be paid? Whatever. The way they do it in club over in Europe and stuff, like Denny and Luka and all these guys are playing professionally from the time that they're 16 up. You know what I mean? They're ready for professional basketball because they're playing against NBA ready or professional athletes from the time that they're 16. And if they're good enough, they don't, have to follow this rank and order. They'll play for, Barcelona or whoever the best team that they can play for in their country is. I think that's, what we should move to eventually. I would like to see it.
And honestly, that's why I've always been high on LaMelo. I actually didn't hate, everyone hates that he went to Lithuania because he did not play well. It was definitely not a great situation. LeVar was coaching some games. It was just a media circus. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he played professional basketball and got to play against grown men. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean, what are you doing? We need a West Virginia pod soon, maybe before the season starts. Get the boys on. Or at least a segment. Talk about the season.
We can do that. That.
But I actually like that LaMelo went overseas because he didn't do the same processes like Denny and Luka and all these guys, but at least he got a taste of that. And I think a lot of being in the NBA is adjusting to the lifestyle. You're like, all of a sudden you're on your own in an apartment and like figuring stuff out and having to go to the gym on your own and train and do all these different things and eat well. So I actually think that take away the college part, like you said, Denny was like probably a pro at like 16, and like Luka was a pro. It feels like when he was like 12.
Right.
And you start to get really acclimated with it. So I agree. I do think that could happen for you, and like for the U.S. players. I also would be worried though, right? Because like I think guys come into college kind of image. Like, why do you think the guys overseas like are so ready to play professional basketball at such a young age? Where like guys here like AAU and
different culture. That's what it all comes down to. I mean, you go over to any European country and like fundamentals and, quote unquote, playing the game the right way is pushed. They're more like traditionalists in how they play the game. And it's not AAU. It's not about, a media circus, kind of like how America is turning into, basketball and media combining. And it's not a bad thing. It's getting a lot of kids opportunities, and that's great. But in Europe, it's less of that. There's just not as much, attention on them, at least at a young age. It allows them to really hone in on their like fundamental skills of the game of basketball. That's why you see Luka, like he's one of the most like crisp players. And when I say that, if you've ever watched him, you understand that from all his movement, there's no wasted motion. He's not the most athletic guy in the world, but that's the thing. In Europe, they take guys who maybe aren't the most athletic and they turn them into NBA prototype players because they just don't mess up. They don't make mistakes, and they're super fundamental with how they do it. And with AAU, it's tough. It's tough over here because there's so many different things going on outside of just playing basketball the right way. You got stepdads, who are coaching. You got stepdads who are coming on the floor mid-time, like halftime of games, and like teaching people. I saw a video. I think it was Drewski who posted it. Hilarious. And talking about a stepdad, like he did a TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, Overtime posted that actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Shout out to Overtime. But anyways, Drewski was like, stepdad's teaching at halftime how to play the game of basketball. And he's just telling someone to like lower his shoulder into kids and like going through. And it's hilarious because it's so spot on. Every AAU team has multiple parents trying to coach. They have, overtime is videotaping. So now all of a sudden the sixth and seventh, man coming off the bench is like, this is my time. I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to shoot 13 times in the next 14 possessions to make sure that I get on overtime. You know what I mean? Do something crazy. Refs are dancing. It's crazy. It's a circus almost, you know what I mean? And it's not like that overseas. So I don't know. They have a little bit of an edge up on how the game's supposed to be played. And it's just a different culture. That's all.
Yeah. My dad was that guy coming out on the court and like coaching kids. And then like the same thing. Oh yeah. Well, he did coach like my whole life. And then like when I got to the high school and stuff, he coached a different school. So like he was a coach, but like he was definitely on the court being like, yo, keep the elbow into like different kids. And then like they would make a three and he'd be like, that was me.
Like, yeah, they're like that dad who's like beef. You remember, something balance, elbow, eyes, whatever the F stands, follow through. You know what I mean? And some kid hits a free throw and he's like, I just got that kid a scholarship, and there's no coaches in the stands or anything. Like,
100%.
I've had dads on my team. It's funny because it was a stepdad, and they seem to be sometimes the most invested. He paced the whole court as we would go up and down. He'd start at half court for tip, and he would just walk back and forth every possession, like just follow his kid, and he would just mirror him. I'm like, oh my God, like helicopter parent, relax. It's going to be okay. We're in sixth grade. Nobody's getting.
Are you going to be coaching your kids, or are you going to be like the quiet parent in the crowd? You have to coach. You have like a lot more basketball in you than everyone else.
Well, no, I would like to coach. I would like, I don't know. Right now, you ask me that question, and I say no. I don't want to coach my kids. At least not in like after a certain point, because that's how my dad was. He coached me when I was like second, third, fourth grade. And then he let me, play for other coaches who, there was no implicit bias. There was no, favoritism or, with my dad, like unnecessary, unfavoritism. I don't know how to even say it, but where he was just an asshole. You know what I mean? To me, I had to play for coaches and learn how to play under not my father. So I don't think I would want to coach my kids in AAU. It gets too messy. It gets really messy. You need a non-parent coaching AAU for sure. That's the only time I've had a good experience ever.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, I want to finish the draft stuff up with one thing. Let's each give not where they're getting drafted, but who our top 5 guys are. All right, I'm gonna start it off so I can give you some names. All right.
Okay.
Number 1, obviously, I have LaMelo, 6'7", point guard. I think he has the most upside if he's in the right spot, which I'm really nervous about. I think, is next level. Wiseman is number 2 for me. I'm not like that obsessed with big men. Like, I think it kind of is terrible, but I actually think he'll like develop a jump shot. I think he's the most athletic player in the draft. He's just really good. Like, there's no doubt in my mind he's like a 15-year NBA player. 3rd, Anthony Edwards. My thing with Anthony Edwards, I know that a lot of people think he's the best player in the draft. For me, I think he's insane and like could be that. But like the shooting's a little sketchy. And I don't know, I get weird. And I know you played I get weird about the guys who went to schools that like aren't basketball schools. And some of the stuff that like not always playing against the best competition in some spots. I don't know. There's something about him that I'm a little nervous about. Number 4, Denny. I think he's really good, and we'll see where he goes. It depends where he goes, obviously, but a lot of these guys, I think it just depends where they end up. Number 5 is like impossible to pick, it feels like. But you have guys like Killian Hayes, who like some people are saying is the best player in the draft, Cole Anthony, Tyrese, Isaac Okoro. But number 5, I'm going to go with Obi Toppin. I think like he's a little bit older. He was the best player in college basketball last year, I think. And I think that he'll come in and no matter where he is, he'll at least be able to play and be like defense, athlete, be able to score a little bit. So that's my top 5. Do you disagree with me at all? LaMelo, Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, Denny, and then Obi.
I disagree with you a little bit. So I'm going to go just my.
If LaMelo's not in your top 5, we can't be friends.
Relax. Calm down. Nobody's friendship is in, the balance of this. I'm going to go Wiseman 1 though. And I think Wiseman, you say absurd that you just say like, I'm not too high on big men. Also another great play on words, but the fact that you're not high on big men is like, what? Anthony Davis just won the world championship with LeBron. Yes. But without AD, are we talking about an LA Lakers championship? I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm not a LeBron hater, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go James Wiseman is my number 1. Then I'm going to go LaMelo at 2. He's extremely versatile. We've heard enough about it. And
Let's go.
draftdenny.com at number 3. Draft Denny. I think he's a great pick for just about any team. And then I'm going to switch it up on you. I'm going to go Tyrese at 4. He's versatile as hell. He's got he's got the highest basketball IQ in the draft, I believe. And he's a Wisconsin guy, so I'm extremely biased, and that's my guy. So I'm going to go him at 4, and then I'm going to stay with Obi Toppin at 5.
Have you seen Obi play? Like, were you at the same tournament as him or anything?
No, they were in Maui. As soon as they played in Maui, and I watched them. Who did they take to the wire? It was a blue blood. God. It was a crazy. Oh, no, it was Kansas. It was Kansas. That's right.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wait, you didn't put Anthony Edwards in your top 5. That's fair. I get it.
I mean, look, the top 10 can.
It's hard to be a top 5.
Yeah, I mean, the top 10 could be completely mixed up any way you like it. And I threw Tyrese in there because I'm a little biased. Could you switch him out? Sure. So sue me, okay? But yeah, that's my top 5. And yeah, I saw Obi when he played against Kansas. I was like, this might be one of the best players in the country, and he proved that throughout the entire year. Obi Toppin is a force. He's good.
Yeah, we covered him when he was like 16 or 17. I don't think he couldn't dunk yet. And then because he's a New York kid, so he's like one of the first people we like watched. And he couldn't even dunk yet. Then he went private, then he went prep, and he bounced around a little bit and became a freaking man. And Edwards, did you ever play him on the Under Armour circuit?
No, I never played against Anthony. I haven't even got to watch him that much. I mean, he played in the SEC. Like you said, he went to Georgia. So I don't know. They just don't get as much coverage. You saw some crazy highlights from him and stuff. I just didn't get to watch him enough. I know he's a great player. I know he's a lottery pick. I just don't know where he's going to fall.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the whole thing with this draft is like you're probably better off falling. Like the way that I think Tyler Hero set the blueprint for what a lot of guys in this draft will end up being. Like there's so many of our guys who like we covered and we care about who like are going to be good NBA players. We talked about Nico. Like Nico's going to be a good NBA player. I think his teammate Josh Green's going to be a good NBA player. Vernon Carey lost 30 pounds since the end of the Duke season. How is that possible?
Because they put on weight. They try to throw weight on you in college. That's the big thing. And then the NBA, it's all about longevity.
He might be I don't know where he's going to go. He might be a monster.
Very, very, very possible that he is a long time NBA and could be a star in the league.
This has been happening lately. So Vernon Carey was ranked second in his class out of high school. And now he's I don't know, he's a top 25 pick. And I think the same thing's happening to Evan Mobley in next year's draft. Evan Mobley is the number one universal ranked player in the country. And now no one talks about him in next year's draft. But I did want to ask you a question. And we talked about our guys, but RJ Hampton's going to be really good. I think it's going to take him some time to develop the jumper. Cassius, I saw Cassius recently. He is huge. He looks like an NBA player. So I'm excited for all of our guys.
Yeah, I heard he grew did he grow or something? He's now taller?
When I saw him, I've met him twice now. He just looked like a different human. And it didn't, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, Spencer spent a lot more time with him than I have. When I met him, I was just you're just a grown up. It's insane. He actually I think he broke the record for the highest vert at the combine the other day. Beat Zion, beat all these guys. He's going to be good. I don't know why no one talks about him. They're saying he's a second rounder. I don't know. I think he's a solid player regardless.
I heard that he grew 3 inches. So I'm going to stick with that and probably go pray here after this and hope, I still have a chance for that.
Did you just lose me for a sec? Sorry. I have one more question on the draft, but it's more so basketball in general. I feel we see a lot of guys go from high school to college to NBA, and something changes. I think about guys like Lonzo who all of a sudden he can't shoot. I saw him make 1 million threes at UCLA. He was great. There's a lot of other guys. What changes? And people say that it's just people get taller, and maybe that's what your reasoning is. But even for yourself, going to the next level and not being able to be the exact same player you were in high school. What changes when guys go to a different level that they're not able to do the same things that they were able to do? Obviously players get bigger and better and it's tougher, but I don't know. For me, I have my own thoughts on it, but I'm curious how you think about that stuff.
Yeah. So when I was transitioning out of high school into college, the first person that I hit up, and it was the first time I ever tried to reach out to him, was Steve Nash. And we had never talked other than when I was 11 and looked like a little alien and was doing a halftime show in Phoenix. I got to meet him. Pretty cool. But when I was transitioning out of high school, I messaged him on Instagram and he hit me back the same day, which is really cool because a lot of NBA guys or just anybody at that level, I'm thinking I'll never get a response. Not only did he responded like a book, because I asked him what's the biggest change and biggest challenge. And he said some really cool things to me that stuck with me to this day. First, basketball wise, I said, what changes? And he said, your windows just get smaller. And that's where bigger, stronger, faster, longer, more athletic guys, your windows get smaller. Your reads have to be a half second quicker. Otherwise it's a assist to a turnover really fast. So that could be a big reason for, shooting percentages, other stuff like that. I think play style. I think the system you choose to play in oftentimes can affect, numbers like that, and you have to adjust. But going back to what Steve Nash told me, windows get smaller. And then he said, look, you're going to go through the highs and lows. And this, to get a little bit real with you, he said, enjoy the highs and lows. And he said that, and I had to think about it as a, 18, 19-year-old kid. What does he really mean by enjoy the highs and lows? Everybody is good when things are going good, right? He said that's not always going to happen. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. And that conversation that I had with him, he said, that is where the separator happens. And I'll never forget that. He said, when you have the bad days and you're going through the lows, if you can learn to enjoy them for what they are, which is just learning opportunities, and not be like, you're going to watch teammates who go through the lows and stay there, or, you know, lose passion and emotion for the game. He said, that's how you fizzle. He said, you're going to go through adversity. It's like this weeding out process of basketball and life. He said, everybody goes through it. It's just how you react to it. And that stuck with me forever. So shout out to my guy, Steve Nash. I can't wait to watch him, you know, kill it in Brooklyn. And I don't think he realizes how much that short like conversation meant to me. So
that's amazing. And I think that all makes a lot of sense. Obviously it's you've lived it and you see that happen, and Steve Nash is saying it too. For me, it's like when I look at players and stuff, I'm starting to think that like confidence is like the most important thing in everything. Like
100%.
And I never thought it happened to me recently. Like for me personally in work, even I go into some meetings and it's people who I manage or people who I'm like used to working with. I'm the most confident person there. I can talk and be super creative and be super smart. But on the flip side, like I go into a meeting with other people who are like the same level as me or higher up or whatever. And it's harder. Like you're not as confident to like pitch your ideas and come up with different things. And I started to realize that with myself. And then I realized it on the basketball court too. Like I mentioned Lonzo, but I think about LaMelo and all these guys. It's like when they go into the league, and I do think that's why the international guys do really well, is like they're like, we've been here, like we've done this, we're used to it. And you talked about it, like they've gone through those highs and lows, where a lot of the guys from the US who go into the NBA draft and go into college, they've always been the man and they've always had the ball in their hands 24/7. And like they're always the guy. And then you go to the league and it's like, hey, you have to figure out your role. And Alex Caruso said it really well on JJ Redick's pod the other day. He was like, guys in the G League don't understand, like you need to find out what you're really good at and like stick to that, because you're not getting put on the NBA roster to be LeBron. Like you're getting put on that roster to be Alex Caruso, like a defensive stopper with a lot of energy. And I think that confidence is the biggest thing for me when I look at, like, I think you'll be able to see it really quickly in this year's draft and in college basketball too. It's like, how can you just stay confident, keep being like, I am really good, I belong here. And you see it every year, like a couple guys fall off. So I'm interested to see what guys can do that in this upcoming draft. It'll be cool.
Yeah. Caruso should be an example to all of us. You know, he's balding and he has so much confidence and is so confident in what he does on the floor that he had Rihanna eye him up. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's something we can all take from. You don't get there. You know what I mean? Rihanna's not going to look your way if you're not like literally beaming confidence. And that dude does, because he doesn't even have hair and he's got a ring and a whole lot of other things a lot of people don't have. I love Alex Caruso. Big Alex Caruso.
Right. He's the man. I'm not the guy that posts him all the time. That's a different company, but he's really good.
But in saying that, we do play his alma mater game 1 in South Dakota. So he did go to A&M, right? Texas A&M?
I have no idea where he went to college.
He did. He went to at Texas A&M.
Wait, you're playing in South Dakota your first game? Is that like the only place they're allowing basketball?
I don't know. It was supposed to be in the Bahamas. I was super excited. And then COVID said, oh, listen to this. So last year I was supposed to play in Puerto Rico, and a like hurricane hit or some kind of natural disaster. And God said, listen, Jordan, you're going to go play in Myrtle Beach in November. It was like 45 degrees and rainy, and I was pissed off, but I'm like, hey, it's okay. Let me just get through this because I have the Bahamas coming up next year, you know, and we're playing in the Atlantis tournament. Super excited. And then COVID said, oh, you thought you were going to the Bahamas. Suck it. You're going to South Dakota. Wait. It was supposed to be in the Bahamas. And then they're like, no, we're going to move it to Vegas, keep it in the States. I'm like, okay, you know, I can do Vegas, love Vegas. And then they were like, oh, wait, we can't really shut down, you know, a big enough venue for, you know, just a bubble in Vegas. There's too much other stuff going on. Let's go to South Dakota. That will be fun. You know what? I'm just waiting for them to come out a week before or 2 weeks before we go and be like, look, you're going to Ottawa, Canada. That's where we're going to put you. They just keep going further north. It's cold as shit. I don't even have a puffer coat, and I'm going to South Dakota 2 weeks. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I was a little upset, as you can tell, but we're playing basketball, and that's all that matters. And we are playing Alex Caruso's alma mater. See how that goes.
Shout out to Alex Caruso. Shout out to South Dakota. I feel bad. I'm sorry. But hey, you'll be locked in. You'll be focused. Speaking of guys with a lot of confidence, all right? Russ and CP3, Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul, they might get traded. Their names are popping up. The NBA season's in 3 weeks. So all this stuff has to happen first fast. They have to have drafts, they have to have free agency, and they have to do trades all in a very short amount of time. They both have really big contracts. They were traded for each other last year, but now potentially they might get shipped again. If you're the Knicks, who would you rather get and why?
If I'm the Knicks,
they're the team people are saying is going to get one of them.
Here's what I hope. I hope the Knicks get Russ, and I hope Russ does his Melo thing in New York and kind of revitalizes it. Maybe they don't win a lot, but Russ is dropping, we've seen him drop 40 plus a game, triple doubles on average. I want CP3 to go to the Lakers somehow, some way. I don't know if it's possible, but if the Lakers want a chance and LeBron wants a chance at another ring this year with a loaded field, he needs CP3. I think if they don't get CP3, they don't win the championship this year. Put the house on
CP3, LeBron, and AD. They gotta give up probably Kuz, a couple other guys. That would be an insane team.
Yeah, I look, and CP3 deserves a ring. He's one of those guys in the league that you're just like, how in the hell does this man not have a ring? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very weird.
I would love to see him. I would love to see him in LA.
Yeah, he's owed $40 million a year for the next 2 years, but it's only 2 years, so that's why a lot of teams might want him because the salary cap's going up and things change, and it's actually good to take on a big contract if you're the Knicks at some point. But anyways, Russ and the Knicks sounds amazing. CP3 is probably better for them in the fact that he could probably make them the Thunder of the East, right? He'd really good. Develop RJ Barrett. He's obviously not the same player as Shai Gilgeous Alexander, but at least there's a young player that we've seen CP3 mold. I don't know. I think they both end up staying put. Harden and the Harden thing's tough because it's he had CP3 and they were really good. He's another one. How does he not have a ring? Him and Russ doesn't feel perfect, but they have a new coach now, and we'll also see what happens. I don't know. I hope
you can't win. You can't win a championship playing small ball. Anthony Davis and the Lakers and how big they are, you just can't do it in the NBA. It just is what it is.
What about the Warriors?
What's that?
What about the Warriors?
That was before Anthony Davis was a dominant force in the league. Anthony Davis, to your point earlier, has showed people that, big men do matter, okay? They're huge in the league. God, I'm just using all sorts of stupid plays on words, but they're very important for teams in the NBA to have a big man and a versatile one like AD. That wins you championships.
I think you guys are over the fact that LeBron needs a big man to win. LeBron needs somebody else. LeBron needs a Chris Bosh or a Kevin Love. Obviously not your traditional big, but who else did he have on that team? Tristan and didn't he have Mozgov? Did Mozgov win with him?
Oh, hot take from Spencer. Timothy Mozgov and Chris Bosh won LeBron both his rings.
LeBron needs somebody to spread the floor.
He had Kevin Love. I get that.
I know what you're saying. I agree with that. Let's move on to college basketball, Tom.
Yeah, that's it.
You excited?
During college basketball season, though, actually, do you guys watch the NBA or you're so locked in you only watch college basketball?
All the time. In college basketball, I swear to God, I spend 90% of my life on a plane and in a hotel room. And there's really only two things. Isn't it odd that when you're in a hotel room, that Impractical Jokers is always on the TV? That's the only time I ever really watched that show, but it's always on. And that or FX movies that I never get to watch at home. I watch them in the hotel room all the time because I have nothing else to do, or I'm watching the NBA, depending on what games are going to be happening. But I don't know if I'm going to be watching a lot of this early season stuff because if you didn't think if you guys, there's a lot of people who are NBA players don't play hard until the playoffs. I can kind of see where they're coming from. They're going to be those people real pissed when they see these first couple games, because dudes are going to be straight open gym. It's going to be the most relaxed, laid back thing. I mean, guys are coming off of, 2 months of rest. Tyler's still in Turks and Caicos. I think somebody should tell him that the NBA season's starting like in 2 weeks. And no, he's not. He's back in Miami and he's working. But seriously, he had no time.
That's true. But the cool part about the NBA, and this is funny, I don't know if it's always been like this, is like the first half of the year, like there will still be really interesting things, but like it won't matter at all, right? Like we're all going to be locked into Zion. We're all going to want to see how LaMelo does. You want to see how the Warriors are doing. Trae Young, like in Luka. But then like ultimately it's going to come down to like LeBron, Kawhi, and the Nets probably. Like
right.
And like the Warriors. So like there's like going to be 2 parts of the season. The one where it's like the super entertaining young guys part, and then like the old man part where they're like, okay, all the little kids can stop playing now. So I'm excited for that. Let's talk about college basketball, like you mentioned. I don't know if our listeners fully understand. We have Jordan here. He plays for West Virginia. West Virginia is one of the best teams in the country this year. I think you guys came in at 15, right?
Yeah, in the AP.
Which, first of all, Gonzaga #1. I did not see that coming. Shout out to Jalen Suggs, who I understand they have a million other guys. But is this, Texas is Spencer School. They're 18. Is it okay if I'm on the I'm a West Virginia fan now. Is that cool with you?
I mean, I would fully expect you to be. I mean, if you're listening,
I'm like all in. You understand though? I'm like the best fan. Like I will die for your team.
I don't want you to do that, okay? But I appreciate it. And listen, whoever's listening out there, whether you're in like second period in high school or you're in between Zoom classes in college or you're driving to work, if you're listening to this podcast, I need you, okay? Because you are one of the diehards for this podcast, because these are the OGs that I'm talking to. This season, no matter who you root for in college basketball, if they're playing the Mountaineers, you are a Mountaineer fan. That's all I ask, okay? I don't
100%.
need anything else, and I appreciate the support. But yeah, Tom, you are a WVU fan for sure.
Do you guys look at the rankings when they come out? Like you knew what you were.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we look at them for sure.
What teams in your conference are like ranked ahead of you, I guess?
I believe so. Our conference standings are Baylor's #1.
Trash.
Careful. Baylor's #1. I believe Kansas is 2, and then we're 3.
Kansas. Shit.
And then Texas is 4 and Tech is 5, or that could be flip-flopped, whatever. They have Tech above us in the AP rankings, which is interesting because they're below us in our conference ranking. But the Big 12 is always going to have 8 out of our, 10, 7 out of our 10 teams are going to go, to the tournament. So there'll be a lot of different Big 12 teams ranked this year. You can put money on that too, because it happens every single year.
And remind me, you guys ended last year. I mean, you didn't get to finish a year, but you guys ended as a top 25 team. Yeah.
Yeah. We technically finished number 24 in the country.
So going into the season, you got 2 weeks until your first game. Is this the best team you feel like you've been around? And like, do you guys feel prepared with like the COVID stuff and everything?
Yeah, this is the most talented team I've ever been on. They're with Oscar and Derek, who are both on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar watch list and the Karl Malone watch list. We have the best front court in the entire country. I don't even think it's a question, right? So we have the best big men. We have arguably the best coach in the country at 800 plus whatever wins. He's in there, that conversation every time, a Hall of Fame guy. And on top of that, we got guys who like Deuce McBride, who is like my backcourt mate, is an NBA guy. I knew he was an NBA guard and nobody's going to talk about it until he's in the NBA. So make sure that on this date, November 11th, 2020, you remember that Jordan said Deuce McBride is going to be in the NBA, whether he's a draft pick or not. And I think he will be a pick, possibly even this year, depending on how deep we go. And I know that's kind of a like wild take because not a lot of people are talking about it, but we have so many guys. Like, it's ridiculous. Every time you go into practice. What's that, Spence?
Who was it last year that McBride like just started going on a tear against, and he like started a hot streak, and he had like a 30-point game or something? Maybe not 30, maybe like 20, but
he killed number 4 Baylor at home. Like, he demoralized them. He's one of the better like offensive like scorers I've ever played against, and I've had to guard Tyler. I've had to guard, a lot of different people. Deuce he's super under the radar, but he's going to be big time. Spence, I don't know. He averaged like low teens or something like that, but he had multiple games where he went off for 20 plus. Ohio State at Ohio State. I think that's what you're thinking of, because that was a big time, like primetime TV game. I think he had like 22. That was kind of like his coming out party. And since it's been, raps for him. He's an NBA player.
I remember I came to you guys practice last year and I watched you guys play last year, and like it was all defense. Like I would say that you guys scored, but it didn't feel like the focus. Like now, like having so many dudes who are good, like do you feel like you guys are like different, or it's still at the end of the day, Huggins is just a monster?
No, I think it's gonna be weird for some West Virginia fans not seeing, like, we are a defensive oriented team, and that's because of Huggins. And that's a culture. But I think this is the most offensive weapons we've ever had here. And they've had some damn good teams. Deshaun Butler's team in 2010. You had JC and Dax before I got here. You had a lot of really, really talented teams. But I don't think across the board anybody's ever seen that. Like, Deuce is an unreal scorer, but he's not even our best scorer. We got 2 JUCO wings and Sean and Taz. Unbelievable. Like, score the ball at will. They have a whole bag they can get into. It'll be interesting. I mean, we are legitimately 12 to 13 deep.
That's sick. Yeah. And then in preparation, like how much is COVID a discussion? Like, is Hugs like after every practice, like, yo, you can mess up this season if you go out and do something stupid? Or is it like at this point you guys are in the season, you're not worried about it, it's just like you're focused?
Hugs being a traditional guy, he's not too fond of what's happening right now with college basketball and just what's going on around the world. He wants people to be safe. He wants, us to take necessary precautions. But I mean, teams are dropping out left and right of this South Dakota tournament. We've had to, like, scheduling issues have been a huge thing. We've been preparing for Texas A&M for 2 weeks now, going on 3, and they almost had to be switched because Ohio State and Dayton dropped out because of COVID. He's really irritated, but he's also saying, look, you better not be at clubs. I don't want to see you at a house party, none of this stuff. Otherwise, I'm just going to, I don't know how to say it on the pod that's child friendly, but run your butt into the ground. And he's not too fond of what's going on, but he understands that it's just what we're going to have to live with and deal with, at least for the time being. And
is it kind of on you being one of the older guys and a leader, and some of the other guys like check each other and be like, yo, like, it's the season? We're grown men in a certain, breath. I'm not going to be telling, our guys what they can and can't do. We all have a very, understanding that, hey, if we want to do something and engage in activities off the court, we'll engage in them together as a team. And we're not going to be at bars or at clubs or at house parties. And that's just especially now coming up to the season. I mean, one of our guys gets COVID, that could contact trace 4 of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Do you know what happens if one of you guys gets COVID? What happens? Like, are you out for, like, I saw one football conference, it's like they're out for 3 weeks, and the other one, it's like, oh, you could probably play the next game.
I don't understand. I really don't understand at all what it is. Big 12 has a rule. I'm not even sure. I'm not going to speak on it because I haven't read through it, but I think it's like a 14-day thing for us. Maybe 10. I don't know. All I know is there's some sort of vaccine coming out, and I'm super, super happy that that's happening. Maybe it's a return to normalcy. I don't know. Are you going to take it if it comes out, the vaccine?
I will 100% take a vaccine tomorrow. I'll be the test dummy. Like, I don't care.
Are you serious?
Like, part of me doesn't, like, I shouldn't be worried about that. Like, I'm not that worried about COVID because, like, I'm a healthy young guy. But, like, I have people around me that I really care about, where if I get it, I'm, like, really putting them in a compromised situation. So I just, like, I'm someone that thinks about this stuff nonstop. Like, my mind is always going, like, and I don't want to have to think, like, there's another thing that I'm thinking about. And, like, to be able to just wipe that from my mind, be like, okay, like, I'm good. Like, I'll take that.
Yeah, okay. That's fine to think that you can just wipe it from your mind. But you would be the first person in line that's going to listen to Bill Gates, who is not a medical doctor, tell everybody to get vaccinated with this thing. And then all of a sudden, Tom has like an uncontrollable thing where he just starts barking and like sweating uncontrollably, you're going to be okay with that?
You know what I'm going to say? I'm just going to go viral then, and like that can help in different ways also. So it's kind of a win-win.
Way to always look at it from a TikTok standpoint. A lot of content there. But listen, we're by no means an anti-vax pod, okay? I don't even really know what that means. I don't want to get into it. This isn't Joe Rogan. If you want to listen to somebody with a PhD, go over there. But I'm just saying, I'm a little worried about possible side effects. You know what I mean? I want to, like, I might grow like a boob or something. I just don't want to do it. I don't think I'm going to be the first in line. I'm going to let you do it, see if there's any abnormalities, and then we'll be okay. I'm glad that there's people like you, though, Tom. I'm glad.
Spence, you're taking it with me, right? 100%.
Maybe.
Spence is worried about hair loss, and he doesn't want that the luscious flow to go anywhere. So I don't think he's going to be first.
I mean, I'm gonna take it, but I'm not gonna be like
first in line. No, thanks.
I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna wait it out.
That's crazy.
I read somewhere, and this could definitely be wrong, so whatever. I think they make the military test it first. It's like doesn't feel like the best.
Fact check that shit before we get canceled. I don't know
if
that's
not the
true.
Military. No, they have people like the military might get the option to test it first, but like it's all like on by your own free will. This is America.
Our soldiers are in war just barking at people.
Hey, it's a scare tactic.
Whatever works.
I'm gonna be taken back if somebody starts barking at me, like in a real dog voice too. Like it really like something they got messed up in the whatever they do. I don't know. Let's move away from science and shit we don't know anything about. Let's talk about you brought up something about Pippen and Tristan Thompson. Are we gonna get into that?
What the heck's going on here, Spence? The first part on here is the thing you said we can't talk about, so I'm gonna skip that part. But Larsa Pippen, friend of the show. She follows Overtime, so she's a friend of the show. She's reposting.
Just accidentally followed Overtime. We can just say whatever we want. Let's go. Come on.
I mean, she has kids that we post, so I think that's the only reason why. But or maybe she's just a huge high school basketball fan and loves earwax content after midnight. But anyways, she did an explosive interview the other day, and I don't know if you know this, but she used to be besties with the Kardashian clan, and then like out of nowhere they unfollowed her on the gram. She unfollowed them back, and she basically said that Kanye has brainwashed the Kardashians in some fashion.
Ooh, really?
Which, like, sick if he actually has that kind of skill.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this is the first time somebody's actually got them. They've brainwashed every professional athlete ever. And Kanye, I mean, if we needed to send anybody in to infiltrate the Kardashians, it better be Kanye, because that man, I don't know. He's a little bit off the rocker.
Has he changed the family, or do you even know? Are you locked in with the Kardashians?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I did watch his Joe Rogan episode and said, wow, I was baffled, literally just speechless after some of the things that he said. I whatever. As long as he's doing, us all a service by infiltrating the Kardashian clan and maybe shutting that down, that'd be great. I think the world's better for it.
Here's what I think needs to happen. I think we need to take the Kardashians, Kanye, Trump. If he wants to jump on, he can go too. We put him on a space. You know how there's these new space trips to Mars, and it's like you give up your life. You get to go see the world. You get to be the first people on Mars to set your new life there. Like it's going to be an awesome experience. And they just go. They go on the spaceship. They don't get to come back. They get to do something we don't get to do. But
could you imagine the personality and ego clashes that would happen inside of that rocket ship with Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump? Like, oh my God, that would have to be a reality TV show. Not gonna lie, if we could somehow get them to sign off on this would be huge. That. This would be huge for the podcast. Let's be the first ones to try to do it. Let's get all of them. Kanye, Trump, the Kardashians. Who else are we gonna put in there? There's got to be more people.
I think you got to put Chris Humphries in there just for some drama. Like he dated.
I do love Chris Humphries.
He dated
J.R. Smith.
Chloe.
Hold on, no, we're keeping JR. Don't send JR in there. Jesus, no. Who else? Let me think.
Bad Barbie.
Dude, that's who I was gonna say. Oh my God. Yes. And hold on. No, put Whoa Vicky in there. Put Whoa Vicky. I almost have to block her on TikTok because she just keeps coming up. I don't follow her or anything, but her nails that are this long, put Whoa Vicky in there. Dude, oh my God.
I got two more. Daddy Longneck. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's like,
see ya.
He'd be on my personal ones. Yo, I responded and he left me on scene. I have no idea what he wanted or why he DM'd me, but I'm super curious. It's been like a year-long thing. And then the other person, and I look, I love him. Well, I don't love him, but like he's really great. But I just think he'd be so good for the show, and he could be the host. Barstool Prez. I mean, Dave Portnoy, throw him in there, let him host the whole show, and really mix it up. I mean, he's gonna get every person just clashing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, because I hate when they
announce it.
Get the hell out of here.
How many people can we put on this spaceship?
Oh, it's gonna be
as many as we want.
It's gonna be
any ex-girlfriends you want to throw on there? Anyone? I'll throw a few.
What about Claire and Dale?
Ooh, get Claire and Dale on some other goddamn planet. I don't care if it's Pluto. Get them away.
I don't want them
not even a planet.
I don't want them with our other people. We like our other people too much. I've caught up on The Bachelorette a little bit. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, Jordan was 1,000% right. Claire is the craziest, wackiest, most wild human being ever. And I literally think we need to start like a campaign to save Dale. Like, I feel like he's the person who like writes on the mirror in the car, in the window in the car when it fogs up, like, help
me. Help
it's bad.
me.
Can you explain what happened to The Bachelorette this past week for everyone that doesn't understand?
Okay. So Claire, who is the Bachelorette, and we talked about all of our, different personalities with the different men on the show who are courting. That's a great medieval word right there. Jot that one down. Try to use it this week, folks. They're courting Claire, and they want to be Claire's husband. I don't know why people sign up for this, but they do. And only a certain kind of person signs up for it. Tom, I know he's in a happy relationship, might end up on there at some point and just be like, hey, sweetheart, look, I'm going to do this, but it's just to get, a little bit more clout, whatever. Back to the show. Claire came on, and she's been on 3 different seasons of The Bachelor or Bachelorette now, which I think you shouldn't even be allowed to do that, because after two episodes or 2 seasons of that, you're certifiably insane and probably should be medicated. Anyways, she meets Dale night 1, falls in love with this man. It's supposed to be like an 8-week thing. It's supposed to be entertaining, and a lot of different things happen along those weeks. But Claire says, no, I'm going to take 2 weeks, meet this guy, and say, that's my husband, after just saying hello. And if you believe in love at first sight, all the power to you. But Claire ruined The Bachelorette. And now Dale's in trouble, because he's like, oh shit, I was too good at my job, right? I came on here to win, but I won way too quickly. I wanted to be like top 3 and like then go back into the world, have my 1 million followers, a brand deal with Manscaped and like a cocoa butter thing, and then just be okay and not have a wife, because who the hell wants to get married off a reality TV show? Well, now Dale has to do that after 2 weeks, because 2 weeks in, Claire said, I want the show to be over. So they had to bring out another Bachelorette. Claire and Dale just got married. They're engaged. They just expedited the whole process. And now 2 weeks ago they met, and now they're engaged. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about it, but it's an absolute shit show in my mind. And I'm glad that Claire is gone, and we can just get back to the regular order drama that we asked for from The Bachelorette.
Do you not understand the concept of The Bachelorette? Like, you're supposed to talk to all the guys one by one, get them off, and like, she just ruined the whole show. Like, she should get sued or something, I feel like. But we're better off without her. She's
got a PhD in The Bachelor and Bachelorette. She's been on 3 different seasons. It's never been done before. Look, red flag, big time. If you matched with somebody on Tinder and in their bio they say Bachelorette season or Bachelor season whatever, run. And Claire's showing you why. You run. My gosh.
If I threw you on The Bachelorette next season, you think you go top 5?
You think do I make it to top 5?
Yeah.
No, he does not have a college education yet. Like these are like doctors and lawyers.
No, okay, go 5 years from now. Jordan's like
the majority, dude. There's a boy band director. That's his name. That is his like title, boy band director. And if I've ever seen somebody that looks like a boy band director, it's him, or manager, whatever the hell it is. Like I'm pretty sure he started with Big Time Rush, and now he's here. You know what I mean? That's just how it happens.
So
I will
say I'd have a chance.
Yeah, you'd have a chance, Tom.
No, Tom, you don't leave your phone. You have to like put your phone.
No.
You do have to engage.
I lock in. My only goal in life is winning this. I think I don't think I would win, but I think I have a chance to like go like top 10.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's like, do you really win? You have to get married. You have to get married. And I'm not saying anything against marriage. I'm all for it. But you want to win a reality TV show and tell your kids we met each other on The Bachelor? I don't know.
There's a girl I know who's about to be on The Bachelor as one of the contestants, and I think she might win, honestly, just knowing her background.
Not going to lie. If I was on The Bachelorette, 100% would start a fight week 1. Have to. Assert dominance. It's like prison. You find the biggest, most testosterone juice guy you can possibly find, and you just drop kick him. On camera, though. It's got to be kind of like in the background. You just full send. Drop kick 2 feet.
Right. We talked about confidence earlier. It's all about confidence. And you fight someone, you got it.
And fighting. Confidence and fighting.
Sticking in the dating world, are you done with The Bachelorette? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm vented. I'm ready. This is like a rebirth. New season. What's her name? Tasia?
Tasia.
Well, guys, we got the title to the podcast. The Bachelorette is like prison.
100%. It is. You take out your top enemy first. You go right to his cell. You beat him up. I love it. But yeah, I'm done. It's coming on.
Spencer actually brought up a really good segue because he talked about the title of the pod, and the person who comes up with the titles of these pods, when it's not me and it's not Spencer, there's someone else. We're not going to name him, but just say that he works at Overtime, right? And
his name Ryan,
he's one of our really
Cam.
Yeah. And he is one of our best friends. We love him. I can honestly say I don't know what my life was like before he came into about 3 years ago. He is really that great of a guy. He's about 6'8". He's goofy. He's nerdy. He's the best. And he recently went on a date with an amazing girl who used to date a professional athlete, a superstar athlete. Like I'm talking about one of the best few in their sport. And he went on a date with her. It went really well, apparently. We think there's going to be date number 2. Did they kiss? Maybe. Did it last 4 hours? Maybe. Not the kiss, the date. And we're really excited for him. But like in the back of my head, I'm a little nervous for him. Do you have any advice for our guy? And then I got a question for you also.
That's a toughie. You're dating somebody who you think you got a lot of, you got big shoes to fill. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm glad. And she already knows that he's got the utmost confidence because she didn't stay in the industry that she was dating before. And she moved on to bigger and better things in our boy. So I'm glad he's got the confidence to do it. But yeah, tough territory. Not going to lie.
And this is not the first time for him. Shout out to Sam. He's done whatever. Could you date someone who had previously been in a very real relationship with someone who's super famous or bigger than you or smarter than you or more popular than you? Like, or do you have to go into it being like, I'm the best person this girl's ever dated?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go into a relationship or any kind of meeting with, a girl and not think that you're the, top dog. We talk about confidence this whole pod. You know what I mean? If you're going in and you're shaking, all right, and you're stuttering over everything because you're nervous and scared. I mean, people are people. Some of them just happen to play professional sports and have.
It's a flex ultimately.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that just happens. and it's not for all of us. But sometimes, you know, girls, you know, would rather have like a soft stomach dad bod with like, you know, some money, but we're gonna probably eat off the dollar menu most times. You know, what did Future say? And he's got $1 million, billions of dollars, millions, not billions. He said, what do you say? Chicken strips and French fries. We don't go on dates. Take his advice, Lord Future. You know what I mean? It's okay. Girls don't need all the glitz and the glam.
It's funny you say that because our guy, I don't know how much he spent on this date with this female, but he went on a previous date a couple years ago with someone who was also in the same category, and he spent so much money. And like it was a tough situation for him, but he can do it. But still, I don't know. I go back and forth with this. Like, obviously, there's a part of me that wants to be like super confident and be like, yeah, I don't care. Like, go ahead and date LeBron and then come date. I mean, LeBron's married, obviously. But like, go date Giannis and then come date me. Like, I don't care. But like, there is a small part of me that would take some time to get over it. And you know what's even worse than that, though? It's the flip side. It's when you guys break up and she goes and dates someone like that. So this happened to me. I don't know it. I've never been able to confirm it because I never asked. But I was going through a stage. I was in college. I was dating a girl. We broke up. And then I saw, you know, I was being a stalker boyfriend, kind of ex-boyfriend kind of, and I saw that Ron Baker of the New York Knicks started following her. She followed him back. And then I saw them liking each other's pictures and stuff. And I never got to confirm or deny it. But there was a part of me, insecure Tom in college, not knowing what I was going to do with the rest of my life, super upset that I was no longer dating someone. This feels great to get off my chest. And I was like, wow, she literally leveled up to an NBA player. Like, what am I going to do now?
Welcome to therapy sessions once again on Subject2Change.
Let me jump in.
Go ahead.
First of all, no offense, Tom, but Ron Baker and LeBron, these are different categories.
Yeah, no, I get it.
A little bit.
Here's the one thing I want to bring up as it involves our friend is like, what's the first thing you do when you go on a date with a girl you meet on an app? I mean, I'm single, I know more than you guys, but like Jordan knows, like you look them up. You look them up on Facebook or on Instagram, you find their social,
Facebook. You dating 75-year-olds?
Whatever, dude. You know everything about them. So you know everything about them going into the date. Now, I'm not saying it needs to get brought up on date 1 that like this is a part of their history, or even date 2. But at what point, like say this goes to date 3, date 4, date 5, at what point is it like, do you bring it up? Do you wait for them to mention, oh yeah, my ex-boyfriend is, you know, or how does where's the line?
Yeah, like me and Justin Bieber had like a fling back in like 2008, and you're like,
are you like, oh, I had no idea, like.
Hey, listen here. Okay, that's a good point. I don't know how to handle that, but here's my ultimate question when it comes to significant others or ex-significant others dating megastars. Is let's say it's a rapper. Or no. Let's go singer. Let's go Justin Bieber. And you're driving alone by yourself after you find this out, and the song Holy comes on the radio. Is it toxic masculinity to turn off the radio, change the station, or do whatever like that? Is that bad? Because I'm
literally getting PTSD right now.
I mean, I can't even listen to songs that me and my ex-girlfriend used to listen to together.
I will beat the shit out of the screen in my car if it starts playing that as if it's a real person. I'm not even just going to turn it off. I'm going to do physical damage to my own property just to not hear that. I don't know if I'm mentally unstable or everybody out there does that, but I got to know.
Wait, 2 things. One, I do think that Sam should just flip on a game one day and be like, oh, look at this guy. And be like, put her on the spot and be like, oh, I dated him.
Does Sam start a burner account for every time that this guy has a bad game and just trash him, just go crazy, just somehow find his way onto this guy's like feed, all the just shit he talks to him about him when he has a bad game?
I'm realizing now I had the worst I have the worst ex stories ever. I dated a girl, and when we broke up, she started dating Charlie Puth's little brother. And now I can't listen to Charlie Puth. Like, see you again, one call away. He's on TikTok. Anytime anytime he comes on there, it's not, she didn't date him. She dated his brother. It just ruined it for me. So yeah, you can never, ever watch or listen to that sport again.
God, I love that we're all on the same page with that. Okay, that's good. I hope everybody else.
He's going to do great. He's like the one person that like would not care at all.
I love this. Spence, this one, that's definitely got to get posted. I need to hear the people's opinion. Do we listen to and or watch ever again the guys that end up dating our exes ever? You know what I mean? Can you do it?
I can promise you we wouldn't be posting like this star, like say Sam starts dating this girl and like they get serious, he will never be posted on Overtime ever again. Like he would be, yeah.
Yeah. You're damn right we're petty. You're damn right we're petty.
100%.
If you don't like it,
we did a social story on him once. You remember that? It never.
I do.
Posted.
Well,
he's dead to me now, and I'm a fan of his team.
Delete it. Screw the Yankees.
Whoa.
Okay, look, we're not even going to get into.
All right, this is a great episode of Subject to Change.
Another episode.
You're still listening.
Hey, listen, no, that is a great wrap up, folks. I hope you enjoyed it today. We had a great time. Hey, stay tuned. We're going to try to get a couple great guests here in the next few weeks. We got Mac McGlung re-lined up. He's been on the show before. We got Denny Avida, whatever. I love Denny. DraftDenny.com is going to be on here possibly. And our boy Nico Mannion, right? The Red Mamba. If you don't know who these people are, make sure you go do your homework before watching the show. And extremely important, if you've made it this far, you're an OG listener and a great supporter, and we love you. But make sure to follow Subject2Change Pod on Instagram and me and Tom on all the socials. Interact with us. We don't got shit else to do. Just kidding. We're fairly busy, but we want to talk to you and, continue to grow. We love you. Have a great week. Watch out for each other. Peace and love, baby.